This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, Franklin County. This is Diana Zinel here, doing another one of our interviews, and I'm so excited about this one. We're joined by Carlos Uriona from Double Edge Theater. Carlos is one of the co-artistic directors up at the theater, and also, of course, a member of the cast and one of the performers. So you guys are doing really some fascinating things up there. And I think a lot of people may not know about Double Edge. Carlos, can you tell us a little bit about this really unique performance venue?
Yes, Double Edge Theater is in Ashfield, uh, in West County, nearby Shelburne Falls, and we have been here since 1994. We moved from Boston. We were founded in 1982, so it's 37 years, and we have an international theater, a national theater, and of course a very strong local presence, and of course regional in New England. The theater produces two types of work. One is an outdoor spectacle, which includes circus-like music. It's not a musical, but it's a theater that travels, and the audience travels with the performance and the performers. And the scenes are evolving and happening around, and sometimes even within the audience. And then we have the theater that is indoors, and we do shows that are performing big theaters like the Paramount Theater and or Montclair State University. They have a big presenting institution. Arena Stage, we premiered at Arena Stage, and we travel international. We perform in Russia, in Norway. We do in Hungary, in Poland, in indoor theaters. Those are two different type of shows. The cast is the ensemble is all the actors and artists of the ensemble are the owners of this endeavor, and we are a non-for-the-profit, but we function a little bit like a cooperative, where we all have a share ownership together with a board, which are not our non-artists and business people that comprises our board. And we also teach a lot in universities, at Yale Drama School and Harvard. We have taught at BU, UMass. I mean, many universities on the West Coast, at CalArts, and we have about around 700 alumni. They come from all over the world. They come from China, from India, from South America, from many countries from South America, from Africa, from Europe, from Norway, England, Germany, Italy, France. We have students from all those countries, and we keep those connections going and those relationships evolving. So this is basically an overview of what the theater is. We, in total, we're 20 people working full time here in Ashfield. So we are one of the largest employers in the area. And we, you know, we were on tour when the lockdown started, so we needed to come back. We were in New Mexico. We had tour Boston. We were in Austin, Texas, and then we were heading towards Orange County in California when we turned around and came back. And since then, we regroup, reorganize, and we are facing this together like everybody else.
That's so great. So the reach of this little theater on this beautiful farm in Ashfield is really remarkable. Particularly, I'm so fascinated about, how you're also teaching theater in some really impressive institutions. I mean, that's really something. I think most people have no idea what's happening up there. So Double-Edged Theater, actually, you are located on a farm. You and you actually perform on this farm. I
Yeah.
had the opportunity to tour it with you last summer, and it's just really beautiful. And as you mentioned, um, when you're watching the performances, you move about the farm. There's different venues around the
Yeah.
farm. There's this beautiful pond. But I think one of the things that was really interesting to me is that your actors are also athletes. So there's a huge amount of physical training that happens
Yeah.
up there. And if anyone has had the opportunity to drive on Route 116 in Ashfield and you saw this big trapeze contraption out in a field, right? That is one of the training facilities for double-edged theater because there's actually trapeze type of work that happens right over these venues on the farm. It's very physical. And that's just really fascinating to me. Some of the props and things you have around the farm, there's some old vehicles and there's just really innovative. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah. And it's innovative and it's very, very unique. There might be in the world, dozen or 2 dozen groups like ours. We also maintain a certain scale. There are groups that started like us and now they became gigantic operations.
Mhm.
We like to keep this intimate, and this is a discussion in the world. Like we talked with theaters in London, like for instance, Sleep No More, which was very famous show, started like this. Now they became this gigantic business, and we've been talking about that and what they lost and what we gained and our audience gained. So it's a balance. It's a balance, and it's a balance financially. Thank God we have an amazing amount of support. Greenfield Savings Bank, our donors are fantastic, and everybody is helping us keep the scale, keep the level of intimacy that you can experience, together with a beautiful land and landscape. Everywhere we go, we try to use the landscape, and like we did it in Forest Park in Springfield, and it maintains that kind of beauty and that kind of. Although in Forest Park there were way more audience than here at the farm, but
Right.
Still, that is a very important element. And yes, we are athletic, and we do not just aerial work. We do other types of athletic work, including swimming and running. Everybody, that's the foundation of our artistic work, the athleticism of it.
So I never had the opportunity to see a performance. Happily, everything was sold out last year. And I'm hoping to get to see one this year, and we'll talk about your season a little bit later. But I've seen some of the photographs from the performances, and they're really just breathtaking. And that athleticism really shows in those photographs. So I'm excited to be able to see a performance up there. It's also a working farm, right? I mean, there's still farming happening there.
Yeah, we do. So and this is, we're slowly tapping and touching upon the things that are allowing us to be a little more sustainable than even large theaters. A lot of large theaters are closing seasons, and because we do farming and we are outside and we do a lot of work, and we also have a very strong exchange with the CSAs and the cooperatives, like the Greenfield Markets is a
Yes.
big supporter, and we exchange. We have with our neighbor, we some of the pastures are used for grazing cows. Another neighbor uses some of our pastures. We manage 100 acres actually, and 50 of them are pastures, and then we have tree stands, which we also use a lot of wood from our own forest to defray costs in fuel in the winter. We also have a solar system installed that was installed by Greenfield Solar Store, no less. So, I mean, there's all this um, web, like a spider web of relationships and work, which includes farming, that enable us to have a better shot to navigate the crisis that we are living right now.
Right. Right. It seems like you've really become a part of Ashfield. Um, and you work really closely with the community, and you mentioned working closely with neighbors. I think that's just really such a beautiful thing. Um,
Yeah,
I- you all, so you work together, you live together, you perform together. When I came up on the tour, you even eat together. So you have this really nice kitchen. You invite chefs and I think local chefs from different restaurants to
yeah.
cook for your performers. And I had a beautiful lunch when I was there. It was homemade local hummus and salad, and it was really great. So, and had a chance to talk with some of the performers. And I'll tell you, you've also become a part of the chamber, and
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to get to know Travis and Hannah, two of your performers who I just enjoy their company so much, and they've really been a great addition to chamber functions when they've come. So it's been really nice. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, no, no. I want you to meet more of us. I want you to meet everybody here. So you need to come back. I
I'll
know
come back
it's not
anytime.
that. I know that it's not that easy, but yes, it's possible. Um, I
So
want to say we don't live together.
you
This
don't
is
live
a
together.
no. We have houses, and we
Okay.
have been buying houses in Ashfield. And to the extent, and not just us, a lot of people that are related to us started buying, and we have a sponsorship from Caldwell Bankers. Phil Place, which is our local
Yes.
um, realtor, is a big supporter of the theater, and we have an exchange with them where we recommend people that want to buy and come move near us and have their summer homes, people from the cities. So now we are very careful. One thing we don't want to do is to develop, and the other thing we don't want to do is to gentrify or push people outside. So
Hmm.
we have been renewing things that were very old and not, you know, maybe not in good shape, and
Hmm.
we have been investing a lot. We now run 9 buildings, and outside of that, each member of the company has a place in the town where they're living.
That's
One
fantastic.
Yes, because we're not a commune, but more like a cooperative. And we bring in a lot of young people, and we are helping the youth retention factor in a rural area. I think that that's a main anchor. So we're not only bringing the business that, we are, of course, we're connected to Elmer's, we're connected to the lake house. We have a lot of exchanges with Tree, the warehouse,
Hmm.
neighbors. So we're part of the new created Asheville Business Association. So we're not only that, but we're also anchoring so young people stay, and a lot of our students go work with farmers here and do some of the haying chores in the late fall, or other jobs like help keeping up spaces and houses in town. So that's part of another contribution that we are trying to, and we're intertwined with the town. We're part of the town halls every year, and they are pretty. Our neighbors are pretty adamant that we should be at least 3 or 4 of us should be attending meetings, and so we are. Also, we are supporting the work of the different boards. Asheville,
Hmm.
that system. So yeah, we're very connected to the town.
That's wonderful. And you brought up another good point, and that is that you bring people in. So
Yeah.
people, I mean, people are coming from all over to see your performances
Yeah,
during your season, which of
from all
course
over the world.
from all over the world. And
Yeah.
that's really important to us at the chamber because we also function as a regional tourism council. And so we certainly appreciate and recognize the value of Double Edge and those travelers and guests that you're bringing in. I know in a previous conversation you and I had, you said that there'd been an increase in bed and breakfasts in Ashfield since you guys began operating because people are looking for places to stay. How many people come to your average performance? And tell me about some of the places that they're coming from.
So we are, as you said, we are sold out. I think it's been constant for the last 6 or 7 years that every show that we do, whether it's winter, we perform in winter indoors or in the summer, is sold out. The average performance is 80 people.
Okay.
And then the indoor performances is about 60 in the barn. People come from Eastern Europe, from Russia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, from Europe, from France, from Italy, from England. People come from China, from India a lot, from Indonesia. We have had audience and students from Nigeria, from Kenya, from South Africa a lot. Then Argentina, my country, there's a lot of people coming from there. Brazil, Uruguay, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, a lot of people from Mexico, a lot of people from Canada. Canada is one of the main, Canada and Poland, because we have a very strong connection with Poland, which is, your last name comes from.
Yes, it does. It's my husband's last name. I'm not actually Polish, but so when you're talking about all of those places that people are coming, is that both as performers but also guests are coming from that far away? And then I would assume also just regionally, here from the United States, are coming from all over the United States as well. Wow, that's
Boston,
really fascinating. So
Boston
if someone
and New
wants
York and Burlington, Vermont,
and Burlington, right?
and Brattleboro, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your web address for people who might want to check out your web address?
www.doubleedgetheater.org.
Got it. We'll make sure we put a link up in the when we post the video. But let's talk about your season, because typically I would assume your season starts soon, your summer season.
In July.
Does it always start in July, or are you changing it a little bit this year?
It always starts in July, yes.
Okay.
We take a month and a half to experiment ideas we were working with, and to try test them. Also, the weather is not that up here in Nashville is not as helpful in June. You have a lot of rain, so.
Right.
Yes, although typically we would perform rain or shine, but we try to be more into August is drier.
And then, so people who are treated to this performance, one of the things that I thought was fascinating when I was up there touring is that afterwards there's a really nice space where guests can interact with your actors and performers. And I think that's just such a nice feature for people who've just watched this really unique performance, this beautiful performance.
The majority of the audience stays after the show.
That's wonderful. That's really great. So is there anything else you want people to know about Double Edge, or maybe things that are coming up or anything like that?
I cannot really say what is coming up. We're still looking at how the state is developing and opening. We're talking to the different people, the boards here, Board of Health, and we're working with health experts. We're dreaming that because of the expansiveness of our land, that we could have audience coming with and maintaining the physical distance. So it's not going to be all together.
Right.
But we're working on that and thinking that we might be able to do something. The same with people coming from other states or other places. We need to think about all those details.
Right.
And we and we're talking to professionals. So we are planning on and dreaming, more than planning, dreaming that we're going to do this work. Still, there's a lot of uncertainty. The state just started opening yesterday. We need to see how everything goes. And of course, we're not going to be irresponsible about that. Our towns here are very proud that we had a very low, Asheville only had one case so far. I consider ourselves fortunate. There's a lot of randomness here, but we were very organized, and the town is very organized, and we respect that organization, and we're part of it. So we're all thinking together. This is wonderful. There's a whole, because also the town wants this to happen, but we need to be very mindful. And
I think everyone's in the same boat of, we're just going to have to sort of feel our way through it and see, what we're able to do this year. And, but we all want to be respectful of, the recommendations and the guidelines and the health of those around us. So, well, I really applaud Double Edge for what you're doing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we have an amazing supporter, which is Dr. Warner from Buckland. Has been every week working with us since this started, because we were coming from a tour, so we were very scared, as you can imagine. I was in 6 airports before I came back in a month. So I was very nervous, and I'm already past the 60 threshold. so I was concerned, let's say.
Of course.
And our doctor is a phenomenal, phenomenal support, and is working with us now and thinking and dreaming with us. How can we do this that is safe? It's safe for the towns, so people don't stay around, and it's safe for the audience, spectators, and the performers.
Excellent. Well, I really hope that you're able to salvage part of your season, and certainly, you'll have plenty of things happening. You mentioned, you and I talked recently, and you mentioned that you're already booking tours for 2021, which are off premises, right? In other countries?
In Norway, we have already a contract for 2021 in the summer, before the summer, in June.
Right.
And we have been talking to Arts Emerson at the Paramount, and we have been talking to Montclair State, and they're going to do a film of our indoor show. So this is going to happen in the fall, whether it's with audience or not. They would do it, and they would broadcast a film of our work. So yes, there's a lot going on. We're not famous maybe, but we have a lot of prestige earned.
I think you're famous, Carlos. We're very grateful to have you as part of the chamber, and part of that, those really unique assets that we can promote for tourism in Franklin County, because we know that you bring visitors and tourists here and make them happy while they're here. So we're really, really grateful for that. I would encourage people to visit the website. When will your schedule be up? When would people be able to purchase tickets?
We need to see all this. It depends on the state. We cannot, right now, we cannot say much about this, and more than it's a dream. And that we are ready, and this is more doable than in an indoor theater, but still we'll see what the allowances are and the protocols. I think there's going to be protocols for all this type of work, as it should be. So we're trying to wait for that and to listen to the expert, and then follow the rules, so we know we're all safe and enjoy ourselves in that safety.
Exactly. So I still would recommend people keep an eye on the website to see maybe if you launch a ticket sale, because they do sell out. So if you want to see something like this,
one thing people can do.
Hmm.
One thing that people can do is to become members
That's right.
of Double Edge, because then we have about 400 people, 200 households, so it's over 400 people in
Hmm.
membership. Those people get, we call them and we say, okay, we are doing this, right? So in past years, we gave them 2 weeks in advance to reserve their tickets. Also, when you become a member, you're already purchasing the tickets.
Right.
So that'll be it's helpful for us, and it's
Of
helpful for the
course.
people to organize themselves and be able, because it's, you need to count the time of riding in, Asheville is 25 minutes away from Greenfield, and all that time and organization. Look for the restaurants in the area, you know.
Exactly. And there's so many people in this area that appreciate the arts. So I would hope that maybe some people will consider joining. And you're right. There's nice places. The Ashfield Lake House is a great place to
Yeah,
eat up there. It's an absolutely beautiful, easy ride up 116. It's
yes,
really beautiful ride. I just did it this weekend. I was up in your area. And it's really gorgeous. So I would encourage people to take a look at the website. I thank you, Carlos, so
thank
much
you,
for
thank
what you
you, and
contribute to
thank you
Franklin
for what you
County.
do.
Thank
Yes,
you. And hopefully, well, I look forward to, I'll come up to the farm, once it's appropriate to do that, but I certainly hope to be able to see a performance this year. So, all right. Thank you again so much, Carlos. Double Edge Theater in Ashfield.